Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. In this video, I'm going to talk about progressive web applications, right? So what are those and how we can deploy those applications on the devices, right? So devices which are managed by Intune, right? And specifically in the context of device management through Intune, those are part of also autopilot, right? And we can go ahead and deploy a configuration profile, and that profile is going to be deploying that application, right? So progressive web applications, or it is also called as web applications in short form of PWA, right? Are the web applications that are a modern kind of web applications which are used and developed by using HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and other languages, right? And this is going to be kind of a web application which runs within the web browser, right? Similar to that experience, but this is going to be kind of a lightweight applications and which does not require much space as well as processing power on the devices. For example, if we are using Teams on the desktop, that means it is going to take and allocate a lot of space as well as memory on the device, and then it is going to make sure it is going to occupy the memory and CPU power and everything. But if we are using a lightweight application, it is going to simply be installing, or it is going to take a minimal space on the device to run that application, and it's going to be very effective and efficient as well, right? So I'm going to show you that one, and there are key features and key benefits about it, including which is pretty straightforward to install, right? And then offline functionality as well, along with push notifications, cross-platform compatibility. It is also secure and discoverable, right? So these are the different features and benefits of this web application, which is called as progressive web apps, right? And if you are going to compare the difference between the web application and a desktop application, definitely you would see the memory utilization is being used heavily by the desktop applications, and these lightweight kind of applications are not going to use much. Those are going to take very less space. Also, it does not need highly compatibility of the memory and all other components of the devices, right? So to deploy that one, I'm going to simply share my screen and show you by creating configuration profile and then how we can deploy that, right? So there are pretty straightforward options as well. So I'm going to show you all that options, and simply it's going to be deployed on the device, right? So even you as an end user, and if you have the right set of permissions like administrator permissions, something like that, then you can also do that, right? So there are two ways. As an end user can also do that, and as an administrator, as an administrator can also do that, right? So I'm going to show both the ways, but it is always recommended and good to see that uh, we should have managed this, right, by the administrators only and not the end users, right? So yeah, that is how it should be, right? So let me go ahead and share my screen quickly here, and I am going to start creating a policy and show you that, right? So just a minute here quickly. All right, so perfect. So here I'm on Intune, right? So from Intune side, I'm going to directly jump onto the devices section to create a policy. And from there, I'm going to create a configuration profile. This is specifically for Windows, right? And as we all know, majority of organizations are on Windows, and even they do have the many different platforms as well. But if you look at the end user base experience or user base, it is on the Windows devices majorly, right? So let's go ahead and create a policy. So let it refresh this page, and we should be good here to go ahead and create the policy. Perfect. So create a policy. I have created so many policies before, so you can see a bunch of policies there. Then setting catalog, then click create. Then give it a name, like something like I am going to give it a name like install Teams web app, right? Because install Teams web app on the Windows, right? So that is what we are going to do, and click next. So here's the setting that we are going to add. So there's a setting within settings catalog, which is going to be web app, and hit enter. And here we get choice, which browser we wanted to add. So I'm going to target Edge browser for now, but definitely you can go ahead and deploy it across any other browsers that you wanted to. And here's the setting, right? So from here, we need to select this settings, and you can see that this setting is going to be added, and I'm going to cross it out. Once it is added, we need to enable it, and here's the code that we need to add, right? So code is something that I have already here in my notepad file, and here you can see that here we can give it a name like I had already created one of the applications with SharePoint site. So I'm going to give it a name like Microsoft Teams. Right. And oh, there's missing of O, and here's the URL that we have to put in place. Teams.microsoft.com. Right. So this is the code. Now you might be wondering what is this code all about. So this is the kind of JSON formatted code, and we need this code at minimum where we are just passing it a parameters which says create a shortcut on desktop, set to true, custom name of the applications, we can give it a name of that applications, and default launch container is for window, right? So this is going to be kind of separate window, and URL is this one. So we are going to set this specific URL as well, right? So I'm going to copy this all code and then put that code over here. So this is going to capture whole code. And once we are good here, once we pasted the code, that's going to be added over here as a code, and then it's going to be ready for us to next. And on the next scope tags, we can add any if we have, and on the target devices or assignments, I'm going to assign it to all devices and then click next, and we are good. So let's go ahead and create this policy. Perfect. So this policy is created, and I will show you over here, which install. Perfect. So you can see that I had created SPO document hub policy before, and I have created this one now, right? And once it is created, it will be deployed. And let's say previous policy. So I'll show you the previous policy successfully applied as well, because there's one devices or device which I have deployed this policy, and I will show you that as well. It does not show up here, but policy is successfully applied, right? So we can go back. Let's cross it out, go back to devices. And from devices, I'm going to sync this device now because I have that device active in the virtual machine, or it's a virtual machine in the VMware box, right? And let's wait for it. So here's the device, right? So here you can see that this is the application that was created before. And let me do one thing quickly here. All right, so you can see that this is the full virtual machine. All right, and I think I can make it full screen. Okay, so here's the full screen device, or I'll just minimize quickly and come back to Intune, and let's synchronize this device. So it started synchronizing, all right? And then I'm going to go back to the device here, and then this is the device over here. And I'm going to simply open CMD prompt so that it's going to speed up the process, right? Because we wanted to pass in the process now. Perfect. And now I'm going to run gp update space / force. So we have enforced the synchronization so that the policy is going to take effect as soon as possible, and that application is going to be deployed to this virtual machine immediately, right? All right, so this seems perfect. Now let's go ahead and minimize this one. And also, I will simply go back to the here. And from here, I will just go to accounts and then access work or school account is the account that I have joined to the Entra domain. And let's click on synchronize. So this will sync up quickly. And once it is synchronized, it will give us the applications installed on this virtual machine, right? So here you can see that this is the application, and this was the previous application and not the one which I have deployed now. So let's say I will show you this application and how it looks like, right? So meantime, you will get the feel and look and feel of this application, how it looks and what is it, right? So let's wait for it to load, right? So this is the kind of a small applet, right, which is installed on this device. And you can see that this is kind of a standard application, which looks similar to the desktop application on the devices, and it's going to be pretty straightforward as well, right? Here you can see that this is going to be showing up everything as a SharePoint. Now I have just added this SharePoint site to the application, and it was added as application. Right now, let's say I wanted to add any other applications, I can go ahead and add, and that would be added as an end users application. So let's say minimize this one quickly here. Okay, it seems that application is not yet synchronized on the device. So this is the virtual machine. You can see that it is deployed on virtual machine platform, right? And it should complete the process. I believe we can just rerun the update policy and let it complete the synchronization process. Sometimes it takes the 1 or 2 minutes of time just to synchronize it, and then it's going to be successfully executed. Okay, this is also doing the synchronization on the device. So probably this should be ready, or this should be installed on the device. Let me search it. Microsoft Edge, Microsoft Teams, actually, not Edge. Okay, seems that is not yet added over here. Maybe that's just taking a time to synchronize, but it's going to be simply be pretty straightforward, right? Because as I said, it does not take much time usually, and then it should be added. All right. So similarly, let's say I have this application over here, right? So this is the Teams web app, and the same app is going to be shown up onto the end user's device there over here. So this is something, the application, right? Let's say I have created, and as an end user, they can go back and use that application as a kind of standard application. Maybe I can just simply create test2 folder. So now this is in the context of SharePoint, but similarly, you can create many other different applications and deploy those applications. As I said, those are kind of lightweight applications, and it does not need much memory and processing power on the device. Instead, it's going to be deployed, and that's going to be available for users to access with least amount of memory, least amount of space, and everything. Even the processing power is also going to be very limited, right? So probably we can go back and go to configuration profiles. Maybe we can just go back and check the policy. Install Teams web app. Okay. So this shouldn't take much time, but seems it is just trying to pull out. Here you can see that I have already enabled it and deployed it, right? So it is just taking a bit of time, but this is the right way to do. And you can go ahead and do that as well on your test environment and deploy it, because currently it is not showing up any changes that happened on the devices, and there is no progress as well. So that is why you don't see. But if I go back and show you the previous policy, here you can see that this policy is successfully applied, and it is going to show us the device as well. Okay, it did not. So maybe we can just generate a report and we should be able to see it. Okay, after generation of report, it is not showing yet. Here you can see that success devices was one, because this was the settings configurations that we deployed, and that was successful without any errors and conflicts on the devices as well. So yeah, this way it is going to, even I had targeted all devices and the same setting, right? So it's going to be something that is going to be added and is needed to be added. Perfect. So we can go back and open up this application. Probably I'll just open up this one and do one thing here. Just go to the end, add one more slash and review and save. Okay. And we can go back to PM. Okay, not yet. It is not yet showing up simply. It is also synchronizing. So it should not take much time to synchronize, but not sure why. It is just taking much time. But yeah, this way it is going to be pretty straightforward to create a policy and deploy. Sometimes it just takes time to deploy the policy on the device, and then it is going to be taking the time, right? Let me go back to the device and I'll synchronize from here. So this is straightforward, right? And I would, I think it's just taking more time to show up over here. Before that, I would also show you the script or the commandlets, right? So this is the commandlets, which is going to be adding all the details that it needs, right? And then we can add everything that it is going to be added, right? So this is going to be something pretty straightforward to add, and then is going to be added. So as this is going to be URL, default name, then create a shortcuts and application name. So this is the minimum requirement. And the next another requirement, which I forgot to mention. So this is the command. Let's say I wanted to add application. So this is for end user side. And let's say I wanted to open up a PowerShell. So this is the virtual machine, and I'm going to show you how we can do that. Okay. I think I have blocked that one over here on this. Or just a minute. I think I need to open a notepad first here, because on the virtual machine, there is no option which can allow us to copy paste. Right, for example, this one, I'll just copy it and then go back here. Okay, this is not doing anything. Let me reopen CMD with admin rights. Oh, I think I had blocked that one before. That is why it is not opening up. It is asking for admins, or it is showing as blocked, right? Copy and let's see. Perfect. Then hit enter. Now it says that start process is not showing up. So probably let me try to open PowerShell without admin rights and see if it works. Okay, it is opening. All right. Start process. Here you can see that it is running now and something is happening, right? So either it is going to give error or something, right? No, it didn't give any error. Now you can see that it has created a kind of applet and templates immediately, and it has also redirected us to the browser, right? And you can see that it is loading up this application, and then now it is trying to load not this one, but this is going by default to the 365 admin portal, not admin, as an end user experience. And then it has added that one. But now to see that one, I'll just go back to the screen and we can see that, oh, it is still not yet showing up. That is strange. Let me close this out. GP update / force. It's taking a lot of time here. Ideally, it should not take much time because I have already synchronized it, and this is just taking a lot of time. All right, let's go back and probably we can see that, let's say over here. Okay, this has opened a browser. Maybe we can see that if it is going to show us the application, because the same application is going to be shown up over here. And I'll do one thing. I'll just open up this app and I will show you some of the settings of this application. Here at the top, click on this one, and here you can see that application name, right? App info, and then app settings, app privacy, and more tools of this application. And it's also going to ask us to move this to, let's say I wanted to go to app settings. It's going to redirect us to the browser, right? So this is the application that has applet associated with the respective browser, right? Similarly, let's say I wanted to open up the Teams one. I'll just copy this one and then go here and then slash teams dot microsoft dot com. Hit enter. Okay, this is just redirecting to the same one as in this one, right? That is why it is, and this is the application code, right? So that is why it has added here as an application directly. And then we can pin to taskbar, pin to start, desktop shortcuts, and add to auto start on the device logon, right? So these are the things that we can do. All right, let's see. Okay, this is not yet synchronized. Probably, maybe we can just do one thing here. Restart the VM quickly and come back. I'll just restart and we should be back soon here. Okay, restart anyway. All right, so these are the policies, right? And still there is no check-ins or nothing. So let's see if it is restarted. Okay, this is restarting, and give it a moment to come back online, and probably it is, or it should have that Teams application showing up there. All right, so we are on the device again. Let me log into the device. It's just taking a bit more time. So this is the device that is already added, and this is also part of autopilot. So this device is going to be autopilot because I have added this to the autopilot using device hash, product ID, and device serial number. So here is the device serial number, right? Which you can export. Oh, this is just trying to push the policy, I believe. And I think I need to just skip it for now. Okay, let me. Okay, let me give it a pin. Hmm, something went wrong. Okay, so okay, this is completed, but still the application is not showing up over here. So seems there is still synchronization is not happening correctly, and that is why the application is not shown up over here. So this is the right process, right? And you can also try and test and see how that works for your scenarios and your use cases. And as I said, it already worked for this application, which I have already deployed, right? And showed you how this looks like. This is a pretty straightforward and standalone application with lightweight. And even you can go back to the task manager over here on the machine and see how it utilizes the CPU and RAM and everything together. So you can see that processes and then performance. So two apps. Then the performance. Okay. Then let's see. So we don't see much, right? Because that's kind of a web layout. Here you can see that app, right? Which is going to show you a very minimal RAM usage, and overall it is going to be taking up the browser as well, right? So this way it is going to save a lot of space and reduce the application issues. Now you might be wondering why it is showing 100% as a CPU, because this is going to, or this is showing up overall CPU utilization as this is a pure virtual machine. That is why it is just showing up the highly or high usage, right? So Yep, that is what I wanted to show you and talk about, as I think it is just taking a lot of time. And yep, I think that's not good to wait for a longer time and make this video longer, right? So yeah, that's all for this video. Do let me know if you have used this before and any experiences of this capability and this setting. And this is a virtual machine, but if you are going to deploy this, the same setting and configurations on physical virtual or physical devices, not the virtual, right? Then this is going to be pretty fast and straightforward, and it's going to be improving user experience as well. So yeah, that's all for this video. Do let me know if you have any questions, doubts, and happy to answer those questions and clarify your doubts as well. And yep, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel and share this video with your friends and colleagues and people around you so that they can also learn something new and keep learning and keep exploring. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.